nice skin, so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life Gorgeous. My name is Craigers. This is where I share my magical life in hopes of improving your life. It's a very special broadcast today. It is birthday week for me. And I said to myself, who are the only two people you want on your show? Obviously, I've accepted that Sonny and Cher are not happening. So we are now... I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, America, Goldy and Gibby, they are back.
What an
I mean, Gibby did ski into that tree, but
first of all, what are your emotions? Are you honored? I chose you two guys to be on. What are you thinking? What's going through your head?
I mean, I think more honored than Sonny or Cher would be, I think. Right?
Should I call on you guys, or do you guys just want to jump in? Because
I think we can jump in until it doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean,
We're there.
I'm honored. Yeah, it makes me feel good as I get older. You know, these male friendships when they have this honesty in them about the emotions that we're feeling. I love it.
That sincerity.
Goldy and Gibby, of course, are old friends from the old Late Late Show. We used to hang out and drink a lot. We're going to talk about that. But first, we have different backgrounds, and I'm not talking about from the Midwest. I'm talking about literally right now. I got a conquistador lamp. Why don't you guys say where you are? Because Goldy is kind of thrown off. He does a podcast that we're going to talk about, but he's in a different room. Why are you in that room, and what room is it?
So, embarrassingly, this is my bedroom. What you're looking at is right where my babies were made. I used to do my podcast in our guest bedroom. My children shared a bedroom, but they're now old enough they can no longer share a bedroom. So I had to give up my podcast room to my eldest daughter, and now I'm in my own room at 50 years old.
Do you know, it is a beautiful house. I'm not going to say where it is in Southern California. It's an old Spanish, really nice house with a pool, but it's not, the square footage is not, it's a smallish house. But are you going to have to do your podcast, the typical disgusting display from your bedroom? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, going forward, I'm all bedroom all the time. But yeah, I refer to my house as a micro estate. It is what an estate would be if you shrank it down to the size of a New York apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Gibby, where are you?
I normally do my podcast out of the closet downstairs, which was forced because I live in this apartment in Santa Monica and the kids were here.
Come out of that closet, which is the obvious joke. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been said a few times. And then but up here, it's like a loft and it's really light. The only thing is when I do these, especially if I don't do like Zooms back when we had careers. I would do Zooms, but I would have to hide. If you look, there's a Jack Daniels dartboard right behind my head on the wall, which the girls wanted a dartboard one Christmas. So I hide that with my head, and there's a fishing rod over there. But this is my daughter's bedroom when she's home from Michigan.
What I like about Gibby's apartment is all the personal touches.
Yeah, it's a sanitarium. Well, I really do try to send the message that you're not welcome here after college.
Right.
And I just, with every detail that gets in. I'm
just going to tell you an anecdote quickly. This is a Todd Yasui anecdote, who was a producer on our show.
Yes.
And I liked Todd. His office space. There's certain things I agree with and disagree with people, but I agree with him on this. His office at the Late Late Show, the walls were completely empty. And I said, why do you do that? He goes, because when they fire me, I don't have to pack anything. I just go, which I thought was efficient and a nice way, very freeing. You know what I'm saying?
I feel the same way about my bedroom. Yeah.
Exactly.
By the way, Gibby, you sound groggy. Did you drink last night? I know we're recording early. How's your energy today?
It's okay. Yeah. A friend was played at a concert actually at Penmar, where I last saw both of you. They have this big, very Instagram friendly crowd. I I'd say there were 2,500 people there for the show last night.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but dogs, picnics, picnic blankets everywhere. It's a scene. So I was there.
I purposely didn't drink last night so I could be sharp today. Before we get started, you guys do have podcasts. We have to plug it so I can. It's very freeing after we get done with that business. Typical Disgusting Display with Goldy, with Alex Sulkin, and of course JC, the producer. Very good. You guys are getting great guests. Anything you want to say about your podcast, Goldy?
I just, give it a shot, guys. What are we going to say at this point? We're at the end of civilization. I mean, who cares?
And Gibby, you're with Greg Fitzsimmons. We call him in the business Fitzdog. I like to say Fitzdog.
Sure.
This is kind of bothersome. I ran into somebody. I'm walking through the LA when I go for my exercise, and I'm wearing a ball cap. Gregers, and he starts talking, and and it comes up. He goes to the old show, and Gibby and Goldy, blah, blah. I think he knows you more from Fitzdog than in the hallway on the Late Late Show, and those are fighting words. Do you think you're more popular for Fitzdog than hallway, Gibby?
I don't know, but I think that's how time works. Did I ever tell you the story where I got recognized in Costco?
No.
I'll try to make
What year was this?
This was 2006 or 7.
Okay.
No, maybe even it was very soon after you walked away.
Right.
And I was checking out at Costco, and the guy goes to me as he's doing it. He's like, "Oh man, I miss Kilborn." I'm like, "Oh," and I was like really touched.
Yeah.
I don't get Goldie and I used to talk about it. We wouldn't get recognized really, and so, or if we did, it just I don't know. It was always weird. But although that one time at the Super Bowl, Goldie, with who gave us a ride?
Kato Kalin?
No, Bush.
Billy Bush. Billy Bush gave us a ride. He recognized us. This was all pre-Trump. Grab him by the, it was all pre that. He liked us.
Back when Goldie drank, he's like, "Listen, let's just stand next to each other and go near the line, and we're going to get recognized, and someone will give us a ride back to Houston."
Wait a second.
And I was right, wasn't I?
Yeah, but my favorite line from Gibby, I just told us. I had the Sklar brothers on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I could have had them back, but they just saw a couple weeks ago. And I told this Gibby story because we were talking about valet parking, and somehow Dan Tanis came up, and I said, I think Goldie was with us. I can't remember, but we had eaten at Dan Tanis or the Palm down in West Hollywood, and then we went out, and obviously I paid for dinner, so I was a little later to get out. Gibby was out there by himself waiting for valet, and I walked up to him to chat. And he goes, "Go away, someone recognizes me." Which was a classic. I just thought it was so funny. But no, you guys are great on the air, and that is hilarious. What were we talking about when you told the story?
Well, very short Costco. So the guy I was touched and all this. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, no, I know. Yeah. I go, well, I'm no longer there. I left too. I go, I'm actually over at Ellen and all this. And he's like, and kind of looks at me a little weird. And I'm like, yeah, so, not there anymore. I don't know if you noticed. And anyway, whatever I said, and the guy's looking at me like really weird. And then finally, he's like, did you work at Kilborn? And I'm like, what? And I look at him and I realized I had a Kilborn hat on.
Oh, that is classic.
Yeah. Oh. It was terrible. So I just took my 16 pounds of pine nuts and got the fuck out of there.
Just to let you know, yeah, that stuff happens to, if you can imagine this, people that are even more prominent than you guys. I mean, when I was at ESPN, love you on CNN. Sometimes they mix that up. But I was at a eyeglass store in Melrose a few years ago, and Lionel Richie was there, and we chatted. And I said, "Do people come up to you and say,
hello?"
Well, no, trying to remember the song, Baby Let's Cruise, which is Smokey Robinson. Do they just come up and say, I'm your biggest fan, I love Baby Let's Cruise? And he says, all the time. So people mistake different people, but it's a little different than what you were just talking about. I hope you recovered from that. Goldy, do you ever look to Gibby? Because he was a writer-producer on the show. You were a writer, but also you did some producing when you did the NBA Slam Dunk Contest and almost showered with people. But Do you ever look to Gibby for a take on something or advice on something? Because years ago, the first time I was ever in a room with a 9/11 truther, he was doing some computer work for me, and I was stuck in a room with him, and he was saying this stuff. I went home and I called Gibby, and because I thought I had done this on the show. I would say, what does this mean? And he walked me through the baby steps of, well, some of them are, a lot of them are unemployed and they're potheads. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm putting words in your mouth, Gibby, but he told me how to handle it and how these people exist. Does that sound right, Gibby? First of all, you remember when I called you when I had been in a room with a 9/11 truther or not? Does that not ring a bell?
It's hard to remember because I now think 9/11's a hoax. So everything's a little blurry.
Anyway, so my question is, do you look for him for advice, Goldy? Because I'm going to ask you guys, starting with Gibby, for a little advice on a pop culture phenomenon. And I just want to know, do you ever run things by Gibby, or am I the guy that does that?
Oh, all the time. I used to lie down on the couch in his office as though he was my psychiatrist and tell him my problems. And I called him as recently as last week
really?
for some advice.
Interesting. Yeah. And that
Goldy did not know how to feel about Barbie last week, and it was a long call.
I just kept asking him, is this my fault? Right. What could I have done better to stop women from feeling bad about Barbie?
I should say, so I have not seen Barbie, and I don't go to the theater, but I'll probably, I guess I have no desire to see it, but maybe I'll watch it when it's on one of the streamers. But did you guys both?
Can I help you? Do not go into it like I did, thinking it was either subversive or funny.
Oh.
And I don't think I'm being mean. That would have helped me a lot if I was like.
But you don't think Sex in the City is funny? No, I'm just kidding.
I not only think 9/11's a hoax, I now am a huge fan of wordplay and puns. So I like Sex in the. I'm not the guy you used to know.
Right. So here is my pop culture question. I'm not into pop culture. I could care less. I like to get lost in Turner Classic Movies, be very standoffish. But it came up the last few weeks, and you guys might know this more than I do. Basically, I was on the radio back in Minneapolis with Dan Barrero. He's 68 years old. He really dominates the market. It's more than sports. And he says, oh, Minneapolis taken over by the Swifties, because Taylor Swift was there. And then I had Hank Perlman on my podcast, and he said, yeah, she's talented. She's a good songwriter. I know a lot about her because my 15-year-old daughter, we had to go to the concert. And my daughter cried throughout. Do you guys know anything about Taylor Swift? We'll start with Gibby.
Yes, I guess I don't have that same respect. I saw she and Jack Antonoff, maybe there's a clip, and they got so excited that they found a word that rhymed with like car, I think. And it's online. It's a viral video, and it solved the song. And I was like, can you imagine, like other songwriters, I'll just say that we're fans of, being that excited about finding a rhyme. And anyway, I should just say I don't understand. She's clearly talented. I wish, and maybe I'm wrong here, I wish she would write about more than herself. Like, look at any great artist, and it's not just about a 3-week relationship where you left a scarf somewhere and the guy probably is like, whose scarf is this? And she's like, just, selling millions of albums about it. And I don't know, my daughters are like, you don't get it. The scarf is a symbol of her innocence. I'm like, it's not, because she told us that. It's not a symbol when it's explained literally. So my daughters don't like me talking
about
it.
Have you seen her in concert?
I have not. I'm surprised I didn't hear it from here. It looks like the most dreadful experience ever. Like, imagine going to someone you really like, and every single person in every row around you is literally screaming every word at the top of their lungs.
Okay, so it's a phenomenon. I've watched a few clips online. I said to Hank, she's supposed to have a solid singing voice, but be a good songwriter is what she's supposed to be. And also the word I hear a lot is she's goofy, as if, it's very accepting to be goofy. And thank God Sade never did that, because she was cool. Sade was cool. She wasn't goofy. There's nothing goofy there. But But yeah, the people are going crazy. She is positive though, and you're not positive, Michael. Michael.
Well, no, here's what I'll say is I think I'm aligned with a lot of her. I give her all the credit in the world. She spoke out against, regardless of anyone's politics here, she made a unbelievably surprising decision to be vocally against Trump back when no one in her genre, or especially in that part of the country, would have liked that.
Right.
And probably a third of her audience, it was maybe on the team, Let's Make America Great Again.
Starting with, if we're being honest, starting with your daughters. But the other thing, let's bring Goldy in for a second, if we can.
Please.
Goldy,
please bring
you
him
have
on
daughters. You have daughters that are much younger. Are they Swifties, or are they too young for that?
No, they're not into it for whatever reason. They have some sort of station on Spotify that gives them custom music, and they like someone known as Beach Bunny with songs I actually like. So look, with Taylor Swift, I accept that certain things aren't for me. In the Barbie movie, it's not for me.
Right.
That's fine. The world goes on. But there's also certain pop culture things miss me. Like, I've never seen Star Wars.
Ooh,
I'm not interested.
These are some of my favorite admissions when people have missed out. I never saw either of the what's the Tom Cruise movie recent? The
Mission Impossible.
No, I've seen all the Mission Impossibles. No, with Miles Teller, the
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either Top Gun. Does that offend people?
I think you would like
scene over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy the second one at least.
Right.
The first one, I don't know. Things get so built up that then
that's exactly
to go back and watch it. There's no way, because someone will be sitting next to you, go, oh, and here's the scene that comes in. Like, they're excited for you to see it, and it just never matches.
Well, there's a thing. There's some things I just want to tell you guys. There's some things I'm not going to I don't actually tell you guys certain things, and there's something I've never told Gibby. I'm going to get his reaction now. There was a movie I saw in college after the fact, after everyone built it up. And then I saw it and I go, what is this green guy with the finger? I didn't get it. And it's E.T. And I know E.T. means a lot to Gibby because he's told me some stories, but I'm not always into the science fiction or whatever, the make believe stuff. I haven't seen a lot of. I want urban guys. I want guys, white collar guys. I want 3 Days of the Condor over and over again.
Yeah. I haven't seen West Wing.
I haven't seen West Wing.
Don't know anything about it. Parks and Rec. I don't know anything
Never
about
saw
it.
I wonder if the people watching are like, hey, Kilby's got the sourpusses on for birthday week. For the audience to know, Gibby's very opinionated about music. He has made fun of Springsteen. He's a Bob Dylan fanatic. And back to Taylor Swift, Gibby, I got to ask you, because I had a few people on. I had this, I don't know if you've ever heard of a woman named Allie McKay. She used to be on KTLA morning show, and she also was on K-Rock with Kevin and Bean. And she's very opinionated, and she's one of these people, she rolled her eyes at Dylan because of his singing voice. But she, I think, I can't remember. I asked her about, I asked people, because I know Adele is pretty special, the singer Adele. And I said, how does that, are they equally big in the pop culture world or whatever? But some of the people obviously think Taylor Swift is it over Adele. Is it not a fair comparison? Not even close? Because I know you're an Adele fan.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough. I'm probably saying the wrong things about Taylor Swift, quite honestly. I'm sure there's a lot of good things there. It's just, as Goldy said, I agree with, for me, it's not for me. And it also is missing me.
Yeah.
I just see a very self-obsessed, it's every song to me, and I know you shouldn't use the word every, but seems to me like Dear Diary.
Right.
And look, let's go to the next show and sit in the front row together.
Yeah.
With no kids or anything, or no women.
By the way, there are really funny things that people post. Dads have been posting, they take a picture of the men's room at a Taylor Swift concert, and it's like 60 empty urinals. It's like there's just no one.
I mean, is the music, I do like, I mean, listen, I love music. I'm very opinionated. It seems, is it pure pop? Is that what it is? Like upbeat pop? Is that all it is?
No, she's more than that, I think, to give her credit. But again, it seems to be all, it's like, look at real artists. There's social issues,
Right.
Write about different people, write about, you're very concerned with, so she's incredibly generous. She's supportive of her truckers,
Right.
I guess is the latest story.
Yeah.
Like, write about some hardships. Just look at your musical heroes and what they write about. It's not all Dear Diary.
Moving right along, we've got so much to cover. And Gibby's energy is picking up as we go along. This is kind of, did you have your coffee?
Well, I've been called a curmudgeon, or not that exact word, but I want to.
Sourpuss.
It's your birthday. It's about, listen, let's make this about, like Taylor, let's make this about you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I wanted to say. I joke about self-absorption. I mock myself. I can't control that I'm a pretty boy. I was born this way. So it's a different form of self-deprecation that I do. And I'm joking about being self-absorbed. Kind of. Okay. So Goldy doesn't drink anymore, and I'm awfully proud of him, but I really don't ever want to see him again. I'm kidding. But Gibby, what are your thoughts on the sobriety of our friend Goldy, which is actually admirable if I was being serious. But what do you think of that? You proud of him?
Yeah, I don't put too much. I think it would have been a lot bigger, and I would have had a bigger reaction if we were in our 30s still.
Yeah.
I think 30s, your drinking is just a bigger part of your life, for better and worse. So now it's kind of like I could go out with them and not drink and actually not even think about it, kind of. But I do miss, I remember Goldy having too much to drink once, and I had to drive him home in his car, and he just berated me the whole time and my driving. And I missed that. I missed the Goldy who all filters are turned off.
I will say Mike's a big thing Mike used to do is he had drank like 3 milliliters less than you, and he'd be like, "You're really fucked up." And it's like, like what? Maybe you had 1 sip less, and you're the dad.
Oh my, that is hilarious. That used to be one of the most unrealistic things I used to do, which is if you drank more than me, it was like, slow down, man. I was slow down. I was like, I was with Ted Jessup. I said, slow way down, man. Slow down. And then if someone only had a glass of wine, I was like, what are you doing? This is no fun. It's like you had to have the equal amount that I did, or it wasn't working, which makes absolutely no sense.
But my favorite thing to do when Ted Jessup started drinking was to do the line, "You'd hate to be a margarita right about now."
Oh man. When Goldy was drinking, you never wanted to hit him or anything, did you, Gibby?
Well, that time in the car. Well, I'm on the 10 driving him home in his car. I don't even know how it worked out. I don't even know how
You stole my car because you had 1 sip less. That's
and he's like, "You're drunk. Like, why am I in the passenger?"
No, I think the thing I said to you was, you're in my lane. This is my lane. I would be using this lane. Yes. I'd be doing the exact same thing.
By the way, it's very admirable that Goldy does it. And I always tell the young people listening that I cut way down. I feel infinitely better. I don't think there will ever be another night where I have 2 martinis in one night. I just don't do it. I have 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks. Of course, the red wine, that can flow on occasion. But Gibby, why are we still drinking if Goldy isn't? Because I was going to say because we're leaders, but makes no sense. I just like saying that. Yeah. But why are we still drinking? And have you cut way down?
I think so. I have my kids half the time, and I try not to drink then. So by definition, 2 weeks a month, I'm kind of letting the liver or whatever recover. But I don't drink. Like even last night, I can't believe I'm like this morning. One was really strong because the bartender knew me, but I had 2 beers and a drink.
What was the drink? Because the sugar crap will mess you up. Don't ever have an espresso martini or a margarita. That'll mess you up. Just drink straight tequila or straight vodka.
Yeah, but 2 There were large beers. The more I talk, you realize I drank my face off. But it was over like 4 hours. I don't get why. I mean, it's because we're older too. But no, I try not to drink. You know, a lot of my friends here on the West Side have gotten into precisely measured like mushrooms. Like they come in capsules, and they find they even. And it's not tripping at all. It's microdosing, of course, an overused word, but they go out and they're fine with just grabbing a seltzer or whatever it is while they're out, and they feel great.
Yeah.
And they feel even better the next day.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a square when it comes to a lot of that stuff. One of the reasons I also bond with Goldy is he's one of these guys that he's, I think, a couple years younger than me. And he's not a pothead at all. I love that.
I think I'm like 2 puffs of marijuana away from going insane.
But you always eschewed pot. You didn't participate.
The times I've done it, it's so erratic what it does to you. Like when I was drinking, the nice part about drinking is if you have a martini, you know what is going to happen and how you are going to feel. With pot, it's just like spinning that Price is Right wheel on like nothing, or like I'm totally out of my mind now.
You know,
and just going like, let's see what happens.
That's actually accurate, because someone told me last month, something like that. They said, not everybody's body is built to smoke pot. It can really affect people differently, where everyone thinks it's mild. And I don't know. I guess the stuff now is stronger. Who knows what's going on? I don't follow this. Gibby, I've never really heard you talk about pot. I never really hear you talk about it.
I'm a little the same. I'm a lightweight for sure.
Right.
And edibles are even more extreme example of what Goldie said. Like edibles can be a crap show. They've gotten better, but it's so delayed. You wait 35, 40 minutes for it to kick in, and then you don't know how long it's going to last and I can't trust myself also. Like I will think something is the best thing ever and be incredibly moved by it. And then like the next day I'm like, what was I? And then that's true. That could be with alcohol too, I guess. But with pot, everything is incredibly funny. The music is unbelievable. I should get stoned and go see Taylor Swift
I'm that way until then it just takes a dark turn. Like one of the things that got me off edibles was, 5 milligrams of THC is very low. Right.
Same, and that's my go-to.
That's sort of the least. And so, now if I were to do it, I would say get that and cut it into 4 pieces. But it's like trying to cut a baby aspirin. It's like at a certain point, so anyway, I took a 5 milligram, which is supposedly light, with some THC, which is supposed to dilute it, whatever. This was when I was living in Gloucester, Mass during COVID, which is during the winter. It's a seaside New England town. So I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm just like, I don't know how to breathe anymore. I don't know how to inhale or exhale.
Oh,
so I have to go out on the roof of the house I'm staying at, shirtless in the cold, which is like 10 degrees. And I was like, I just need to feel alive so I know I'm not dead.
Oh my God.
So I'm out in my underwear at 2 a.m. on this balcony, freezing. And I kind of sobered up and then went back to bed. But it's like, what am I doing?
Right.
I want to hear that 911 call. How much have you? I nibbled a 5 milligram.
Yeah.
I'm on the roof by Main Street. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, it's like the person next to me took pot and I'm freaking out.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, you guys are. I like that. Not the heavy drug users. And
well, I think Goldie walks around with this unbelievably. I don't know, I guess strict, I'm at a loss for the word, but super ego in the form of, I think, his dad, because he just grew up. And I can't imagine, I think, Goldie, you have trouble sometimes just truly enjoying something that might also be slightly irresponsible.
Well, I will tell you, it's funny you brought that up. So my dad, when he was dying, I don't mean to laugh, but so he had maybe 3 days left to live. He weighed like 80 pounds. He was 90 years old. He's in bed. And he turned to me and he said, "Why do people do drugs?" And I was like, what? Why the fuck are you thinking about that right now? And who cares? And it's because they like it. But he literally said that to me. And I would have forgotten about it if you just hadn't said that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Amazing.
I
he's
guarantee
he's a
when I'm
doctor.
dying, I'm not going to be like, hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
I've seen and done it all. Why do you like relaxing?
It could have been that.
Shifting gears, we've covered the drugs, we've covered the music. Gibby, I heard you on Goldie's podcast with Alex Sulkin, the typical disgusting display.
Yeah. I love that podcast.
Yeah. Do you know what one of my favorite jokes you did on that one was, or do you remember? I thought
No.
yours.
This is what I do remember. I was excited to be on it, and I did not stop talking, and I felt really badly after.
Well, that's a good guess, though. I mean, as long as it's entertaining, it's a good guess.
Yeah.
But don't take that as a cue to keep talking today necessarily. But you did a Cosby joke. I like the Cosby joke at the beginning.
What was that?
Well, you remember Goldie, what he said at the beginning? He was something like, "Oh yeah, I used to." They asked you some comedy influences, and you mentioned somebody. I don't know if you said Steve. When I was young, Steve Martin, and now I've just come around to Cosby. Like you just kind of discovered him. I thought,
right. Not Cosby when I was growing up, but now.
Yeah. No, but you did say something, and it did not bother me at all. And I want to talk about it. You said that Kilborn was unproducible.
Oh,
and I actually am going to say I agree with you, but it's probably for a different reason. And I'm going to.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
It's coming back to me. Sorry to interrupt, but it's on this exact point. Did you know we would unplug your Ethernet?
No, never knew. I got to tell you, there are details from the past. There's a guy named Albert Scooter Vertino. I don't know if I can tell this story because I can tell it. I'm a square where I don't like to work blue. But when I was at ESPN, there was this production assistant named Albert Scooter Vertino, who I love. We're friends now. He's a big executive at Turner Sports in Atlanta, but he was a PA. And on my first Sports Center, I was nervous, obviously, because they're going to see this blonde, pretty boy being sarcastic, and I wanted to pull back. But I was still writing up a boring ass baseball script or some, box score. And he saw that and he printed it up. He printed up the script and he said, "Hey, everything's going to be okay." Like really calming, great guy. So he tells a story to me years later. He goes, "Remember when 2 a.m. show, we're walking down, you're with Levy and Levy is talking to you and you're kind of like focused." And he goes, "Hey, where do you live?" And I go, I live in Hartford, because everyone else lived in West Hartford or whatever. And he goes, "Julie, do you have a roommate? Do you live by yourself?" He goes, and I said, "I live by myself." "Oh, you don't want a roommate?" And he said, "I don't think I can use it." Yeah, I a lot. Okay, so I don't remember saying that. To do it for the podcast, I wouldn't use those words. And I said, I pleasure myself, or what's a nice way of saying this if I want to keep it in the pod? What would I say? When
self-soothe a lot.
I self-soothe myself a lot. I'm a single guy.
I don't know. I think the shame is gone from that act entirely now, and
I have quiet time.
I think that's a very like pre-2000 attitude toward it, and now everyone owns like how proud they are of the self-knowledge.
Well, no, but the Life Gorgeous doesn't say JERKOFF. We don't.
Yeah,
we don't.
That's
say
typical
that.
disgusting display fare.
That's 45 minutes on typical
Sunday papers.
Display.
That's the headline.
I mean, so anyways, but the point is, I don't remember. So I don't remember all the gems I said, or the bad jokes, or that moment, because I'm focused. I'm focused on the show. We have 7 writers, only 4 of them are contributing. Anywho, so this is my answer for you, or my explanation on unproducible, because I don't disagree. It's kind of like saying Jordan's not coachable, but it's a little different. Here's what it is. Rob Burnett, who was my liaison with Worldwide Pants, who I liked because he was a writer. Other people have issues with him, but I always liked him because he was a comedy writer and he was funny. He says to me, "You're the de facto executive producer, just to let you know. You're the de facto." And I said, "That's what Dave is." I said, "Okay, I get it. I know what you're saying." So I always viewed myself as a producer. So it'd be like saying Hitchcock is not directable. You can't direct Hitchcock. So does that make any sense to you?
No, a little. I think even in the, I don't know if I talked about it on that podcast. I think maybe, but you were also, I think the word you like to use is savantish in terms of production, and you would direct yourself on the floor, which I've still never seen with talent.
I love that. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time we did a really funny bit, but they thought probably the older gentleman who was what was he? He was a consultant, Mr. LaSalle.
Mm-hmm.
I think he thought we were mocking someone, but it was, do you remember when I said, Prince likes to keep his band tight. Prince would rehearse and do stuff and practice a lot and do tight. And I said, I want to keep everybody tight. So and I was on the air. I said, okay, take camera 3, push in, boom. Let's do that. Give me a graphic over the shoulder of Shatner now, boom. I want grapes. I want a graphic of grapes just floating by my face. Do you remember that or not?
Yes, I do.
And they thought I was making fun of our director for being slow, and they killed the bit. Does that ring a bell or not?
Yeah, I thought you were making fun of the director.
No, I just thought
I remember that was why we wrote the bit.
Oh no, I wanted to have fun.
Okay.
Oh, I wanted to have fun with a random thing like he just said grapes and they had it immediately. That's what I like.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, one other thing Rob Burnett told me, I think I've told you this before. He says, so there are 2 types of producers, the executive producers in the late night shows. There's the guys like me who are writers who become producers, and then the other guys who aren't writers who say stuff like, hey, Dave, it's time to get new carpet around your desk.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm now old enough I could go into the role of saying, like, I don't think we should do that bit. It belittles the director.
By the way, let's see what else I have here. Comedians. A couple of my friends like Bill Burr, and I have seen him a little, and I love that he can say whatever he wants. He's above the fray that way. Do you guys have an opinion on Bill Burr? I mean, he's excellent, isn't he?
Yeah, Goldy, go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's great. I love him. I think he's great.
Yeah, I would think, Gibby, you would absolutely adore him, which is understandable because it's sickening sometimes with the PC, what we can and can't say. He can say anything he wants, correct?
Well, he's bald also, so, what can you do to him that hasn't already been done?
Well, he's, I think, fiercely intelligent, and what I like, and it happened at Red Rocks, which was his last hour, is he'll bring up a premise and you're like, no, like you can't get out of that. Like and then when he was in England, which was another one, he went very hard after Michelle Obama. And I'm like, this is not going to end well. And by the end, he has a pretty valid point, and like he defended Sean Connery. Did you see that bit?
Someone alluded to the fact that he said you're not supposed to hit a woman, and then a woman was telling me this and saying, but man, he made it sound like there might be a time where it's okay. Is that sound right or not? Is that the Sean Connery thing? Bill Burr. He did a bit about he striking someone. No? Well,
really, no, that's the thing. His bit was about you're canceling dead people.
Right.
And you're canceling dead people because of something that was said in a Playboy interview way back. And then his point was, if we're doing that, then don't be so selective. What about Coco Chanel? And then he talks about Coco Chanel and compares what she did to what Sean Connery said. And there's no one that can disagree with the point he made.
Right.
And it's hysterical.
Was Coco Chanel, was she a Nazi sympathizer? Is that what it was? I can't remember.
Well, define sympathizer. Did she cozy up to them and fuck them and sleep with them and then work as an agent with them to try to get meetings with Churchill? Yes, she did all of that.
Okay, so she's clean. So wait, you just reminded me of something. Bill Burr.
You can JO about that story.
But the other thing, the point you're making.
I was going to say LaSalle would have cut that joke too.
It's not a conversation.
You're having a conversation. There was
Arthur Godfrey.
No, but if you you'd have to go to the Hollywood Walk of Fame and tear up all the stars on the Walk of Fame. If
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. What else? Done.
because everyone
Cancel
was
everybody.
a racist and everything like that. By the way, Gibby, I had Goldy on a while back, and one of my questions to him was, I had a list in my head. I made up a list of my top 5 comedy movies of all time, which it wasn't nearly as strong as my top 5 greatest films of all time, but I just quickly came up with a list. And I said, can you
You didn't
name
make your top 5 lists of all time?
Yeah.
No?
I said, can you name 2 of my comedy movies? But he named the ones that he liked. And then there was one, he goes, it better not be this one. And it was this one that he didn't like, called Young Frankenstein. Do you have an opinion on Young Frankenstein?
I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Yeah.
Written on a kitchen table in West Hampton Beach, New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
Goldie, why
So
don't
you know it's good.
why didn't you like it again?
It was one of those things again where I came to it very late. I had just heard Young Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, and then I'm just watching it and I'm going like, this is kind of a groaner, and it just felt unearned, and it just felt from a time when, yeah, there's 3 TV networks, and you're not competing with anything, and you're just declaring victory based on there being nothing else to do, and there was no other comedy. So sure, it seemed great, I guess.
You need a little spliff. You need to take a hit of pot and watch that. You'll love it.
I'll do that tonight.
I knew. Okay, but on that
A
topic,
doobie. Why don't you light up a doobie and then really enjoy it?
I love it. I knew if I said spliff, Gibby would get a kick out of it. Gibby, can you do your top 5 comedy movies on the spot? Can you name a few? I mean, you need to prep for it, but can you name a few? I wrote down, I remembered my 5 here. I wrote them down. Not a lot.
Well, I refuse to take Annie Hall off the list.
I have Annie Hall on my list right here.
I did hear, having nothing to do with Woody Allen, and this is a lot of, but the pacing of movies that we remember just absolutely loving is slower than we remember, and I think it's because we're more sophisticated and everything. So, meaning everyone's used to a faster pace. I don't know. I don't know. I can't do it on this, but I will say this, because Alan Arkin just passed away. The In-Laws, the original In-Laws, is one of my favorites of all time. And it kind of never leaves my top 10.
You just said pacing. I'm going to say a couple things because this is true. Sometimes I love have you ever seen, this made me laugh. It was an independent film. Have you ever seen Jim Jarmusch movies? I'm sure you have. You ever seen Broken Flowers?
No.
That's with Sharon Stone and Bill Murray. So
wow.
I think that's the only Jim Jarmusch movie I saw. So they do a transition, the transitional scene, and they're going to show this, they're going to transition to this inside of a house, but they show the exterior of the house through the woods, through the branches, and they're pushing in. And this is going to be Sharon Stone's house where she lives. And they're pushing in, and now they're pushing in, and they're still pushing in. I say, this is hilarious. We're really slowing the thing. He goes, that's Jim Jarmusch. That's what he does. It was for effect. I was laughing. I just said, I love this. We're just going to slow down, and you're going to go. And when I want to go inside the house, we'll go inside the house. But right now I'm setting a mood.
Was it a 2-minute Zoom?
It was, yeah. But there's a movie called Bullet with Steve McQueen. That's one of my favorites, but it is slow moving, as opposed to 3 Days of the Condor, which was made a few years later in 73. Bullet was made in the late 60s, I think. But 3 Days of the Condor moves. So it is interesting, the pacing of these movies.
Goldie, what's a movie in your top 5 comedies?
I'm not even sure I can name 5 movies. I would say the Trip with Steve Coogan.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that.
I just love all of those movies. If I could make anything, if I could retroactively say I made this and take credit for something, I might just pick that movie. I would want everyone to think I made that.
I'm going to watch that. I think I saw a clip of that. Is that where they're talking about doing Michael Caine impressions?
Yes, the dueling Michael
Caine.
Oh,
that's great.
The problem with your Michael Caine is it's too high, but years of alcohol and cigarettes have dulled his voice, and he now speaks down here. You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. It's incredible.
Have you seen that, Gibby, or not?
Oh, yeah. And then I haven't seen all of the Italian one. But I was enjoying that. I just have to get back to how many are there? 2?
I think there are 3,
Oh,
and
okay.
maybe even 4.
Oh, wow.
Just for you guys, I just quick because I wrote them down. These are my 5. Tootsie. I like Tootsie. I saw it in college, but it was built up, and after the debacle with E.T., which was built up, Time Magazine called Tootsie the comedy of the year, and then I saw it later, and it was funny. I loved it. Sideways,
It's so
I love.
obviously a guy now, though.
What's that?
Like, as an audience member, you just can't buy it anymore because you go, "That's just a guy."
Yeah, you mean I know how some people do that. You mean you're saying it's so obvious that it's a guy
That it's Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, you just go,
right?
I don't know that anyone now, because of our more sophisticated knowledge of drag and whatever,
Right.
you would just go, "That's a guy."
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, actually, no one can say that at fear of being canceled.
Sideways, Annie Hall. This is Spinal Tap and Young Frankenstein. Okay.
Sideways is a good example about pace. When you go back, I couldn't believe how long it was till the first glass of wine, up in Solvang or
The
wherever.
stuff with the mother, though, is great.
Yeah, that is great.
Interesting. That's interesting what you just said. So you're saying, are you saying you liked it in the second viewing, or you're okay with the pace?
No, I guess, now that I'm thinking about screenplays differently, I would say like the act 1 is very long and doesn't need to be that long. But I did just watch that. Another one I watched, which held up, I forgot, I think I had only seen it once, was Groundhog Day. And I forgot how it ended. And so I just watched it alone, and I really liked it.
Interesting. Is it safe to say you have to be in the proper mood to watch certain films?
Set and setting. It's kind of like mushrooms.
Because,
yeah, I think it helps.
Okay,
Obviously,
in 2004, when I first saw Sideways, I go, "This is unbelievable." And the thing that I liked, what I thought was a little ridiculous, is these two guys are opposites and they're friends, and the excuses they went to San Diego State together, or whatever. But I couldn't believe Thomas Hayden Church's character, and he was so out of control with the women, and I liked it where the sophisticated, not sophisticated, the other kind of comedies like 40-Year-Old Virgin and Hangover, joke. This was more real. So when he sees Virginia Madsen, he goes, "You know her? She's jamming." The fact that he says she's jamming, it makes me laugh because he's such a dork, or he's such a knucklehead.
He's a goofy guy, yeah.
So I see it in 2004, and then it's on Turner Classic. I want to say it's maybe around 2012. I go, cool. And I missed the first few minutes, and I turn it on, and I go, "Oh, this doesn't hold up. I don't want to watch it. It's not moving. It's not moving for me." And then I watched it a couple years ago, and I said I love it more than ever. And I made my brother watch it. And then I watched it like 3 or 4 times, and I just love it. And I called my friend Hank Perlman. I go, I've seen it like 4 times. He goes, "I've seen it 15 times. So it's a great movie." The weird thing is, you're right. I was waiting. You got to get to that part where they start flirting, and Sandra Oh goes, I deserve to be spanked, The mother part slowed it down for me, although some of the viewings I look forward to it. And it's so pathetic that he's stealing money from the mom. It's just like,
yeah, well, I think what they were trying to do, because I've watched the deleted scenes, is they were trying to both create sympathy and do a little bit of an anti-hero thing with him. Because in the deleted scenes, he's angry at Thomas Hayden Church, and he's driving to go find a winery, and he hits a dog and kills it.
Oh.
And it's so, you hate him at that point. Like, you're just like, I don't want him to be with Virginia Madsen. He killed a dog.
Right.
This is awful. But I think they were trying to toe the line with, he took care of his dad, and he's in such a bad situation. Look, he's stealing from his mom to give his best friend this good time. Like, I think they were, I think it colors how you see him in a good way. The way he steals the money, and the fact that, like, she's so annoying to him that she kind of deserves to have the money stolen in a way.
Right.
And that all felt very real.
Right.
Like, I mean, the going home to your mom's house and sleeping in this bed that wasn't the bed you grew up in. That's like,
right. Do you guys find yourselves watching a lot of comedy now, whether it's television shows or movies, Or are you like me where my joke is I've always been funny, but I don't really care about comedy now. I just want to be superior. That's my So I like espionage. I like The Night Manager, and I like all these, I've watched a little bit of Billions. Have you ever seen Billions, by the way?
I've been told to.
Okay. Goldie, have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
Okay. It's good acting. Giamatti and the other guy who's very talented, the British guy.
I've been thinking that maybe I should get Showtime for about 30 years.
Well, this is a side note, but the guy, I think his name is Koppelman, the executive producer, one of the writers for Billions. They do more NBA references. It's like you got to be and someone said, "Oh no, he's a big Knicks fan." But they reference. He goes, "I feel like Artis Gilmore in the ABA right now." I mean, he did the weirdest NBA references. So what were we just talking about before I go to my next point here?
Well, what do you guys?
Do we enjoy comedy?
Oh yeah, do you guys watch comedies? That was my question. Go ahead.
I love the show Dave. I love Atlanta, which is Dave, I think, is the white Atlanta in many ways. And I really like How To with John Wilson on HBO. I'd say that's probably my favorite show right now.
I don't know. I don't know any of these shows. I apologize. Goldie, do you want? What do you want?
I don't watch a lot of comedy, but I did just watch this thing called Oh Hello on Netflix, which is John Mulaney and Nick Kroll doing these two characters who are
the Broadway show?
Yeah, who are sort of the most New Yorky guys. And it's brilliant.
It's packed with jokes.
And Steve Martin comes on stage at one point, and John Mulaney outwits Steve Martin in like a live comedy battle. Like John Mulaney's incredible.
Interesting.
I think.
Interesting.
And have you seen his new hour?
I did. I think, some of the comedy he finds is it's like someone who, it's like a shooter. It's like Kyrie Irving, who I don't like, but who you look at the angles he takes and you go, I don't know how you do that. Like sometimes he pops in a joke and you're just going like, I don't know how you just did that. It was, you just saw something I didn't see and like went in a hole and threw a joke in there. He's amazing.
Does Mike Gibbons know who Kyrie Irving is?
The angles that guy comes up with.
Interestingly, transitioning, I had a silly game I wanted to play. It's my birthday week. I can do what I want. So I want to tell the audience that Mike Gibbons is a heterosexual who does not follow sports, and those guys are cool. He doesn't follow sports. He references Lou Carnesecca and St. John's.
I'm about to start following sports. I'm about to start watching Hard Knocks because I will not hide. I will be bandwagon Knicks and Jets fan when it happens. And I'm proud to say I did not waste 30 years. Maybe I wasted 3 or 4 in those 30 years of the miserable experience it is being a fan of them.
So here's my game. And by the way, for the audience,
and Rangers.
Goldie knows sports very well. He's from Boston. He knows sports. So I have a game here where I first ask Gibby, and then Goldie, you can weigh in. And then after that, I have a thing where Goldie answers first, and then Gibby weighs in. Okay, here we go.
I hope this is about free diving. I know a lot of free divers now.
I'm going to say a name. Sometimes sports names and nicknames are fun. I just wrote down a couple. And you're going to say, Mike, he's NBA, NFL, or Major League Baseball. You can say baseball. You can say NBA, NFL, or baseball.
Yeah.
And then when he gets it wrong, Goldie will probably get the right answer. Okay. Even though Goldie's young. Are you guys Goldie's younger than you? Yeah.
Very much. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We start off.
It seems to be getting further apart. I don't know how that happens.
Felipe or Philippe Alou. Mike, what sport? What?
Baseball.
That is correct. I didn't know you'd get that.
Yeah.
Downtown.
I believe he played for the Expos.
Yeah, Montreal Expos. Look at this. Downtown Freddie Brown, Mike.
Well, I mean, I would say basketball.
But you don't know, correct?
Right, but the downtown
Exactly.
part.
You are correct. Gold, you ever heard of him?
I've heard of him. I knew he was an NBA player.
Yeah, 70s, Seattle Supersonics. The ice.
Hey, did you know this?
Yeah.
I did not know Dave DeBuscher was a professional baseball
Yes, he
player.
was. Detroit Tigers. Yes. Isn't that amazing?
He pitched a shutout.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That's unbelievable to me.
When did you?
One of the very few, there's
Yeah.
only 13. Danny Ainge was one.
Danny Ainge. Yeah.
Baseball
Look
and
at
basketball.
Gibby. Dave DeBuscher.
I studied for this.
That's
what I
ice-
was doing last night.
The Iceman cometh.
Oh, come on. Gervin?
Yeah.
Basketball.
See, I didn't know Gibby
Finger
knew.
roll. Finger roll.
I didn't know you knew that. Oh, here's
Well,
one.
You're making the mistake of being doing sports when I used to follow it.
I know. I just like saying these names because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys will get this one. His
Sleepy
nickname,
Floyd.
rare. Okay, you wouldn't know his nickname was this, but anyway, Easy Glide, Gary Maddox.
Oh, yeah. Was he at Montreal Expos? No, Atlanta.
No, baseball, Philadelphia Phillies.
Bingo! I can't believe you knew that. Wow, I barely remember that
My
guy.
God. Wait, Maddox never played for Atlanta?
Yeah, that was
you're
it.
thinking of Greg
Maddox, the
Oh,
pitcher.
I am.
This is Gary Maddox. I think he was a center fielder. He was a Gold Glove. Easy Glide.
Okay.
Golden Richards.
That's not Renee Richards' nickname. That would be women's professional tennis.
No.
Golden Richards. What are we choosing from? 3 sports?
Yes.
You haven't gone
NBA,
football.
NFL, or baseball.
Sounds like a Dallas Cowboys name from the 70s, but I'm going to say Golden Richards is basketball.
Okay, Goldie, do you know?
I don't know, but I would just guess NFL because I don't know.
The weirdest thing was, as we watched the Agile Minds work, Gibby was correct, and then he said no. He played for the Dallas Cowboys.
No.
He was a blonde receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, Golden Richards.
That sounds about South America's team. That sounds about right then.
Lyman Bostock.
Oh,
how dare you?
Because he died?
That sounds like an old Red Sox.
What?
He was murdered.
Yeah.
He was murdered.
Yeah. He used to play for the Twins, and I liked his name. It's tragic how he passed away.
Angels.
So he was a baseball
as well.
player. Caesar.
Wait, what is the murdered part?
What's that? Say again?
What is the murdered
I don't remember
part?
the details,
I
but
don't remember
I
either,
think it was after he retired and he was murdered, which is again, we're taking this out of the podcast, the Uplifting Birthday Week podcast. We don't talk about murder.
You brought up a murder victim.
I should not have. I don't know how that got by the censors. Cesar Tovar.
Sounds like baseball.
Goldie?
I believe that's a baseball player.
He played all 9 positions for the Minnesota Twins. Cesar Tovar. That was a publicity stunt. He played one game. He played all 9 positions. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Zeke from Cabin Creek.
Sounds like basketball.
Goldie?
There's no way it's Zeke Moat of
No.
the New York Giants.
Isaiah Thomas is one of his nicknames is Zeke, but it's not that Zeke. It's not him. It's actually Jerry West. And it's one of the first books I read in elementary school, Zeke from Cabin Creek. He was from West Virginia somewhere.
I think I've gotten everyone but one.
Foots Walker.
That sounds like old school football.
I'm going to agree with Mike because I don't think you'll know a baseball player I don't know.
That's an NBA player from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Foots Walker. Oh, this is a fun one. I think you both will get this.
Crazy name.
This is from the 70s. What year were you born, Goldie?
72.
Okay. Love this name. You ready? Roman Gabriel.
That's a great name. That's all I have to say about that.
Wait a second. I can tell Goldie knows, right?
Well, it's a football player.
Exactly. He played quarterback for the Rams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In St. Louis?
No, LA Rams. He was back in the 70s. Only 3 more. Isn't this fun?
So did Joe Namath.
Can I guess what the next name's going to be?
Yeah, I want that game.
Lyle Alzado.
He also passed away, by the way, tragically.
Yeah.
Bob Hayes.
That's old school basketball.
Goldie?
That's basketball.
No, he was played for the Cowboys. He was a sprinter. He was Bob Hayes, one of the fastest men around. Yeah, Bob Hayes. Earl Campbell.
I just talked about him yesterday.
Really?
I said, do you remember when he lost his gold tooth, spoiler alert, on Pittsburgh's field?
Was this during date night you were doing this? the other night?
No. I love that guy. And I had an idea. Those guys who were paid like they were, in regular jobs, and a lot of them had to work during the summer.
Yeah.
I think and if we enjoyed them, I think there should be like a GoFundMe, like give a buck to Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
And if 3 million people did that, I think it would be the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
He can't walk.
Yeah. He would initiate, he would really put his head down and bowl over people. He was fun to watch. Do you remember him, Goldie, Earl Campbell?
Yeah, but you know how Mike has a 9/11 conspiracy theory? I think his jersey was pre-torn.
Oh, he always...
Yeah, I think he put a cut in it.
It looked dramatic when they would grab it and then he would go.
Maybe his tooth was pre-loose.
He can walk. He's faking it.
Last one, Tree Rollins.
I mean, a guy called Tree, I'd say, is basketball.
Goldie, you did a little movement with your hands.
No, I mean, that's, the bit finger.
Yeah. He played for the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA. You are correct, Mike. You guys did well.
I'm ashamed of myself on the Bob Hayes thing. I knew that.
By the way, for the young people out there watching, these are the kind of games we used to play in my den when these guys would come over and Goldie would drink a little bit, but in moderation. There was no weed. There was chili made. It was fun. We'd have Gibby always wanted to hear Kylie Minogue. I mean, it was.
I don't think you have to explain because I doubt anyone's still listening.
I'm enjoying it. It's probably a very narrow audience. Okay, more games. You ready? More games. This is for Goldie goes first. So I said that I don't think Gibby follows sports. I don't believe Goldie is into music as much as Gibby and I are. I just don't believe that.
True.
He doesn't talk about it. What's that? You said true?
True. Absolutely true.
So I'm going to name some stuff and then you go first and then Gibby can answer.
Okay.
Real name of the Pina Colada song.
Oh, I don't have it. I'm sorry, but I'm in my brain. It's in there. I can't get it.
Gibby.
Cheating couple.
Escape.
I would have never gotten that.
Can you name the artist?
No.
Okay, I'm a little older than you guys. Rupert Holmes.
Wow, I would have never gotten that either.
Okay, this is for Goldie. I'm going to give you three choices. Who wrote this song? Tangled Up in Blue, John Cougar Mellencamp, Crystal Blue Persuasion, or Robert Zimmerman?
Robert Zimmerman.
Okay, that's too easy.
I don't know nothing.
I know. Tangled Up in Blue. Can anyone do an impression of Dylan the way I just did?
No, I think you handled it.
Goldie,
well.
Can you do any Dylan?
Yeah, you did, but it wouldn't be any better. And there's a lot of Pat O'Brien in it.
There's that one too. I can't do it.
Okay, who's saying, this might be before your time, a little R&B. Who's saying Don't Rock the Boat? 1974. Don't Rock the Boat. Is that too tough?
I don't remember.
It's a group. It's not the Drifters. Is the Commodores?
Lips Incorporated?
No, Hughes Corporation. I thought that was okay. They get easier now.
I have the corporation right.
Who's saying the theme to Love Boat? That's too easy.
Oh, Paul Williams.
No, I don't even know if he may have written it. He wrote, of course, Rainbow Connection, but no, the singer. You guys would love it.
Burt Bacharach?
No, he sang it. He was one of those crooners that was his initials were JJ.
Oh wow, I don't know.
Jack Jones. You guys know Jack Jones, or is that before your time?
I was going to guess Jim Jarmusch. It was so funny. I mean, he just sang Love Boat totally randomly.
He also did Wives and Lovers, a Burt Bacharach song, just to let you know.
All right.
Anyway, we're switching from music. This is now just random stuff from me. Just Anne Margaret or Angie Dickinson. Go.
That's tough. I mean, I loved Angie Dickinson.
So did I.
Yeah.
Both now.
I like Angie Dickinson. There's something very sexy about her.
Do you ever hear that Angie Dickinson story where Sinatra would fly her out to Palm Springs.
Oh, I love this.
And the plane would go over his place, and he'd be at his pool waving to the plane that she was in.
Oh,
which I think is a very savvy way to get out from picking her up at the airport.
Was his toupee off and his wiener taped to his leg because he was comfortable at home?
Thoughts on Britt Eklund?
Yeah, great. She should have been in Barbie.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Rod Stewart's wife.
Oh
for
my
a while,
God.
right?
This is really like in my basement, just entertaining myself.
NBA. Britt Eklund, NBA.
It's so one of the joys of talking to you guys is Goldie is like when I talk to my nieces, like, have you guys ever heard of Barry White? You know, like, no, let me play you a song. He's telling me, oh, you got to move to this song. You don't even know. Britt Eklund was a stunning petite blonde.
Britt White Shoes Eklund.
Yeah.
I think it was baseball.
Oh wait, where did I go? Oh, I did it wrong. Where am I? Oh, here we go.
Let's start again.
Milky Way candy bar, underrated or overrated? Go.
Over.
Properly rated. I mean, it's an upper middle B- candy bar.
It's overrated. It's just mushy and creamy. I need nuts in there. I like Almond Joys. I like Heath bars. I like Reese's peanut butter cups. Overrated Milky Way. Boring.
I think nougat's a scam.
Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite candy bar before we go to we wrap up with the traditional Life Gorgeous quiz?
I'm going to guess what Goldie's going to say.
For a candy bar?
I'm going to write it down.
Okay, let me think. Let me just think about Goldie for a second. A candy bar for Goldie. Because I don't want to do everyone that does Snickers. I know that's popular. That's boring.
I can tell you I don't even like Snickers.
Okay.
And maybe that'll help you.
And I don't have candy anymore, but the Heath bar, because I like English toffee, was pretty special. Let me just think here. I'm forgetting an obvious one.
I thought you were going to let Goldie go.
Yeah, go ahead, Goldie.
Well, don't you want to hold up what you've written, Mike, and then I'll.
No, because we want to.
Okay. Here's what
don't you know how
100 grand bar.
Huh?
The best
Oh,
one.
100 grand bar. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, Kilby ruined it. It was Heath.
Oh, I said that earlier though before the game.
I like caramel. I like something that stays in your mouth for a while, and you're just working it like a horse with a piece of grass. And you're just
trying to. Did you guys like salted peanut butter bars or peanut bars, or were those boring?
Payday bars, you mean?
They were called salted peanut bars back in the Midwest.
Do you remember how challenging Charleston chews were?
Oh no, I never had. I've heard of them.
Oh, that's like the working a horse thing, and it's the candy bar's like this long. It's insane.
Speaking of candy and ice cream, I was dating a girl once, and I would mention something, and she goes, "I don't know what butter brickle is," and then I'd have to get it for her. I think she was playing a game to get sweets. She didn't know what is there's butter brickle ice cream.
I don't know what Jello with the fruit in it is.
Yeah, because some of the things in the Midwest were called different things. English toffee. Anyways, I can't remember the other one.
I don't know who Rod Stewart's girlfriend is.
Did you guys ever make shakes? Floats when you were growing up, where you take vanilla ice cream and put not just root beer, but like put orange soda on it for like a creamsicle float or grape? No,
no.
I would do chocolate ice cream and Diet Coke because that was what we had.
Oh, wow. No.
That's
I would
disgusting.
always just go to a milkshake.
Yeah. I love. Do you guys care about milkshakes or malted powder in there?
Not now. It's like instant diarrhea. I'm 50.
Okay. This is all.
Can't have that.
We're cutting this all out. We're going to wrap it up.
Hold for sound. We got an airplane, a low flying airplane.
Okay. That was for fun games. I'm going to end with the Life Gorgeous quiz. Only a few questions. These are simple questions, profound insights. We'll start with Goldie. I don't know if I've asked you this before on one of the other ones because I don't really research. So you can just, if it's a repeat, it's a repeat. Your first concert. Do you remember your first concert as a kid?
My first concert was, I believe, the Beastie Boys.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
How
one.
old were you? Do you remember?
33.
I was in college. No, I was 18.
Yeah.
I didn't really go to concerts. in
Yeah,
high
you
school.
don't seem like that kind of guy.
His dad
I got
wouldn't know.
invited to Van Halen, but no one could drive me.
Oh,
Oh.
that would have been great.
I know. My parents wouldn't drive me.
I was a snob. I didn't really like Van Halen in high school, and I was so wrong.
Can you name 3 Van Halen songs? I don't think I can. Might as well Jump, which I think might just be called Jump. What else? What else?
Panama, Unchained,
Panama.
Hot for Teacher.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Option.
Oh, you guys know this
You
stuff.
really got me. I mean, there's a lot. Jamie's crying.
You really got me is a cover originally done by the
That's right.
Kinks, just to let you know, young
that.
person. Gibby, first concert. I can't wait for you to say
It's
like
wild.
Joan. I was 13. I went to Joan Arbitrating. I went to
Yeah,
Patti
yeah,
Smith. I went to.
Yeah. No, you coincidentally just said it. It was the Kinks,
Oh.
Madison Square Garden. They had a late hit. I think it was called Destroyer. And friends were going, and I was pretty young, and it was great.
How
Can
old
you
was
imagine being in a band and you're like, oh, I'm so psyched to go out there tonight. And then you get out there and it's just all 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Next question in the Life Gorgeous quiz. Should I stop asking my comedy friends if they've seen Gary Oldman in The Darkest Hour? It's always a no. I think Gibby might be the only guy who saw The Darkest Hour. Should I stop asking that question?
No, why? Churchill.
Because
You have a picture of Churchill right to your right, probably, I'm guessing right now.
I don't know if I should adjust this and see. Let's see if I can do it. Where is that? There. Can you see it or not? You can't see it.
No.
Oh, it's up there.
That's a better angle, though. Keep it like that.
There's
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. See if we can come back down to Kreger's and just line it. I
Yeah,
lined it
the
up.
little time code was covering it on my screen for a while. Got it.
Next question. Name of the first girl. The name of the first girl you kissed.
Sylvia.
Interesting. Is that true? Or are you making that up?
Yes.
That's true?
No. Yeah.
Is it am I allowed to ask what grade or age or is that too private?
I think I was maybe a junior, a little bit of a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Susie now, but it was Jim.
Okay.
Don't comment.
This is
Was it at the Kinks during Lola?
It was, by the way, that was one of the only reasons I was going to the Kinks concert. I was, I wasn't steeped in their catalog, but Lola was a highlight in Madison Square Garden. I'll tell you that. Farrah
Fawcett poster for Kreger's. Okay, now we're moving right along.
That was your first guess?
Yes. This is it. This is the end of the broadcast. This is my question, and I've been asking this question, and I think I might ask it for the rest of my life because I adore it. Now, earlier on the Life Gorgeous podcast, I'd ask your favorite pie, and I did that for a while. It was fun, blueberry pie, coconut cream pie, blah, blah, blah. This one, I never get tired of it. We're going to start with Goldy. Top 3 sandwiches of all time.
Okay.
Gibby's going to have extra time to think. Go ahead, Goldy.
I'm going to go with 3.
I'm not thinking at all.
I'm going to go with a chicken Parmesan hero.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm going to go with a meatball sub.
I can't believe you're doing ones that aren't fully sandwiches, but they are. You're taking things and you're putting it on top there.
Well, and then number 1, the King Daddy, the BLT.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if anyone said the BLT, and it is an excellent sandwich. The other 2 are okay. Let's go to Gibby. Can't wait to hear what Gibby has to say.
No, I'm going to be very disappointing. I think a panini really dresses up any sandwich pretty well. A turkey club is
is great. That's great. Bacon on there with the tomatoes and everything, right?
It's debatable whether you need the middle slice of bread, of course.
Right.
But it's comforting. There's something. Also, I only wind up eating half, so then I have half for later. I have 2 more quarters left.
Yeah.
Just being very literal about it, near me is arguably the best sandwich place in LA, Bay Cities, and they have the Godmother, which is a giant Italian mess. And
Like an Italian, yeah, but the salamis and stuff, right?
yeah, everything and
Yeah.
the oils and
Yeah.
everything. The works is
Yeah.
on it, as they say. So that the Godmother. So I guess that's like an Italian hero with mixed stuff
Mhm.
in it. I mean, I hate to say it, but Goldie's Chicken Parm. If you get a good chicken parm sandwich, just to make it interesting, the thing is, there was in Boston on Commonwealth Avenue, there was a dive Italian like pizza place, but they made a Philly cheesesteak that was out of this
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
And this will gross a lot of people out. But my favorite part of it was the mayonnaise, which would get warm in this cheesesteak.
No, I love that. And I love mayonnaise, and it's a problem. And I love mayonnaise. I do.
Yeah, well, you only have 2 a week now.
And I think one of the reasons I like the question is because I don't do a lot of carbs, so a sandwich is a real treat for me. I sometimes put on a gluten-free bread, but I do like rye bread a lot. And now I'm going to go into my sandwiches, which I take I take very seriously. I always like to see if there's an overlap. There have been a couple overlaps with certain people, with certain guests. So my first one, actually, Michael Costa, the comedian, he was on and he said it. I couldn't believe it. You ready? The Reuben, sauerkraut, pumpernickel or rye, pumpernickel. I love the Reuben. Do you guys have an opinion on Reuben sandwiches? I don't care if it's pastrami or corned beef. I like them both.
Way too salty.
Oh.
It's decadent. I mean, you really are. That's a cheat day. That's a cheat week if Kilborn's having a Reuben. Isn't there a sister sandwich to the Reuben? Named after his wife.
You can have you can have. I guess you could have a turkey Reuben or something, but I don't know of a sister sandwich to that.
All right,
he's going to look it up, and now he's not going to be focused on my answers.
No, I can't wait for number two.
I have 2 warm ones and 1 cold one. Here's the cold one because it's one of my. I'm simple. I love chicken salad. I'm guilty. I like it with grapes, with walnuts, with apples, chicken salad, red onions, tomatoes.
Corner Bakery is that? You go to the Corner Bakery and get that?
I haven't been there. I just go to different.
They do a good one.
Sometimes I go to Carnegie Deli in New York City, and then it's huge, but I love chicken salad. I always have.
Grapes?
Love grapes. Okay.
When chicken salad goes wrong, though, it goes very wrong very quickly.
Oh, if you don't do it right, it's not good. Is that what you're saying? The way they make it, if it's too much mayo?
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's one of those things like crab cakes where I feel like more than half the time you're pushing it away, going, "No, they didn't get it right."
Oh.
When it's good, it's great.
Okay, Gibby, did you say something? Did you discover something?
The sister sandwich to the Reuben is the Rachel.
Oh,
and turkey is put in it. It is sometimes known as the Georgia Reuben or the California Reuben. Right. Also,
someone said turkey earlier. Interesting. And finally, I said this one. This was Hank Perlman's first one. I couldn't believe it. I said it, and some people, it's controversial. Tuna melt.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? This is one of probably now 1,500 podcasts about sandwiches. That's the state of our world right now.
Comfort food feels good.
It's impossible to eat a tuna melt without just flash forwarding to your doctor's office and him telling you like you got to cut it out.
Well, the thing that didn't make sense is Ryan Russillo was the guest, and he said, "Well, you can't go back to the office after having a tuna melt." I'm not talking about lunch at work. I'm just saying in general. Do I have to paint the picture? It's a Saturday, and I'm wearing corduroys, and I'm having. What's that?
You need a nap. What was his point? Or you're going to throw up?
No,
you have to go to the bathroom.
He believes the odor is too strong for your coworkers.
I mean, he's already shirtless at the office. What difference does the tuna melt make?
Exactly. Oh, guys, this was a joy. I have to decide what stays in and what. If you know what I should keep in and take out, let me know.
I think you got a tight 22 or 3 minutes.
The Sonny Bono stuff worked.
Is it okay if I said Coco Chanel is fine? She's good to go, or what? Was that okay? Or what? You can cut her. Bill Burr deserves all the credit for that. You can cut Coco. But now you're gonna have to cut this conversation. And by the way, this was a conversation, except for the game part. That wasn't a conversation.
Leave the callbacks, but cut what established the callback.
Yeah. No, I honestly don't know what to do. I'll show it to Princess Cherry, the JERKOFF. When I said that, why do I live by myself? What's that?
That was off the rails.
That
the abbreviation on that is always tricky. I loved when you can't say, oh yeah, I went back and JO'd. It's Jade O.
Right.
What do you want? People driving off the road while they listen to this?
Thank you guys. Appreciate
Not in
it.
Goldie's Lane.
Hey, happy
Not in
birthday.
Goldie's Lane.
Yeah,
you see, there's a callback.
We should take you out for your birthday.
Well, yeah, we'll see you soon. What's the day? Oh, we're recording on the weekend. If you guys are around next week, I'm around after Thursday night and beyond, and we can figure it out. So
I'll come towards you guys. You guys are very nice.
That's
to come
right.
over
It's
to the
time.
West Side.
It's time to come over to Hollywood.
Goldie can relate. You can cut this, but Goldie can relate to this in a way. I still have my Vespa, and it's an old one, and it is currently at LAX because when I landed, it tried to start 3 times, and then I had to put the battery in a backpack and take a lift home. That's what I'm doing today.
Wait a second.
But I will scooter to you guys is my point. I'll fight traffic.
Two things. I want to ask about the Vespa, but don't ride that in LA. It's very dangerous. I would never. You're going to get knocked over. I don't care if you're wearing a helmet. It's not healthy or it's not safe. Is it there right now? Did this happen weeks ago? Or
I think it's safer than a tuna melt. It's been there 2 days, but it's unlimited free parking and short-term parking for all motorcycles.
I see what you're saying. I
Don't worry about it.
I thought it was abandoned. No, I thought it was abandoned on the side of the road. It wouldn't start.
No. It's in nice, secure parking, short-term parking.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Happy birthday.
Don't leave yet, Goldie. Wait 1 second.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, now you stay there. And now I say goodbye to the audience. Thank you, guys. Want to thank Goldy and Gibby. That's our show. We'll see you next time. And remember, young people, I'm proud of you.